Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a great day today. I understand that crypto goes up and down, but luckily today we're seeing some green for XRP. Do keep in mind that the general crypto market is pretty flat. The one that looks like it's made some significant moves off the top charts is actually BNB, but we'll keep an eye on this, and we've got quite a bit of news to go over today, so let's go ahead and get started. We'll look at the XRP price chart a little bit more at the end of the video. So up first, really big news. Seoul police just arrested 3 people over a fraudulent XRP staking platform that stole 3.4 million XRP from 71 investors. So more of a breakdown behind this. Seoul police arrested 3 suspects accused of operating a fraudulent XRP staking platform. Authorities say the scheme stole 3.4 million XRP from 71 investors with approximately 27.3 billion won, about $19 million, reaching the operators' wallets. Investigators say the platform impersonated Flare Network and FXRP around their launches to appear legitimate and gain victims' trust. A fourth suspect is believed to be overseas and is the subject of an Interpol red notice. The case is a reminder to verify any platform claiming to offer XRP staking before sending funds, especially those posing as official ecosystem projects. So yeah, please be really careful. Make sure that you guys verify everything with this. One of the best ways that you can do that is, of course, going through the official channels, making sure that you follow the main XRP, Ripple account, see what's going on with that there. And also just making sure you stay up to date, not just with their Twitter page, but you can also follow over on their website information. But yeah, a lot of this stuff would be posted on Twitter. Even then, you want to be a little bit hesitant. Just give things a little bit of time in case something brand new comes up and maybe they got hacked. So waiting a little bit of time just for verifying it, I think, is one of the safest things that you can do. Up next, Wall Street bets on the XRP ledger RWA boom. Now, if you don't know what RWA stands for, it's real world assets. A lot of people are very optimistic about the fact that tying crypto or blockchain technology with real world assets is, I would say, definitely or considerably one of the smartest ways that we can move forward with getting worldwide acceptance of blockchain technology, because we're tying it to real things. When people say, oh, it doesn't have intrinsic value, this and that, I think this technology definitely has a strong place, and seeing XRP Ledger jumping on the bandwagon for RWA so strongly, it really makes a valid case for why the XRP Ledger should succeed or could succeed. And up next, 3.7 billion people now live in markets where XRP trades legally. I want to stress that to you guys again. 3.7 billion people technically have legal access to be able to purchase XRP. India, the EU, the United States, Japan, Brazil, Russia, and then now Hong Kong retail, which I reported on yesterday. 4 years ago, they tried to wall it off. Today, half the planet can buy it. Access is not coming, it's here. So not saying that everyone's going to buy it. Obviously, there's kids, there's people that are not interested in crypto, but just knowing that there's technically such a big audience that has the potential to buy it is a very big deal. And up next, US GDP growth came in at 1.5%. The expectations were 2.1%, so this is not great news. The GDP for the United States is slower than what was hopefully going to be, and that just suggests that we've got a lot of extra catching up that we need to do. Things need to change with the war that's going on between the United States and Iran. That does not help things, and that situation just seems like it's getting worse. Up next, from the Xamin wallet, the XRP ledger never sleeps. Xamin Swap pushes the XRPL's liquidity to the absolute limit. Our smart routing technology finds trade routes no one can reach, and users are saving XRP on trades thanks to it. This is what innovation meeting utilization looks like. And $351 billion Aviva Investors has launched a central Bank of Ireland approved tokenized share class of its US dollar liquidity fund on the XRP ledger. So again, you're seeing a lot of people showing a lot of faith in the XRP ledger. If you're a fan of XRP, great. If you're a fan of RLUSD, great. If you're a fan of the company behind all this, Ripple, great. But don't forget that there is the XRP ledger itself. And I'm really, really excited and curious to see how much these things are going to continue overlapping as things move forward over the years. Up next. Now, this one's interesting because we're talking about the United States market. $900 billion added to the US stock market at open as PCE inflation had its first monthly decline in 6 years. So a lot of green across the board. That's for the United States stock market. And then look at this. This was over in Japan. Japan is having some serious issues. $200 billion has been wiped from the Japanese stock market as the Nikkei plunges 2.3% from its intraday highs. It's happening again. And not great. The Fed to inject $5.179 billion into the economy today. So the more money that gets pumped into the economy, hopefully we'll start to see some ripple effects go over to the GDP increases. But we'll see. The S&P 500 extends gains to over a positive 100 points on the day as dip buyers rotate into technology and chip stocks. And the S&P 500 is on track for its worst July since the dot-com bubble. So very interesting to see a contrast there in reporting. And the Bank of Japan yen intervention has started. If this continues to drop, markets could experience a crash similar to what happened in August of 2024. And just look at this guy. It's going from about 163.5 all the way down here to 160 in a very short amount of time, just a 4-hour time span. Just boom, big drop right there. And about the Grayscale CEO, trims XRP ETF holdings for the first time. Grayscale CEO Peter Mintzberg has reduced his holdings in the GXRP ETF for the first time. A recent SEC filing shows he sold 2,611 shares. That's worth about $53,394 through Cantor Fitzgerald. Mintzberg still holds roughly 2.84 million GXRP ETF shares after the transaction. Worth noting, the Grayscale CEO acquired the shares directly from the issuer in a privately negotiated cash transaction in October of 2024. The sale comes as XRP ETFs record weaker inflows and GXRP remains down more than 50% this year. And Ripple powers the new tokenized share class for Aviva Investors USD Liquidity Fund. Following this, Vet says, have in mind the bigger picture here for the new on-chain economy on XRP. We're bringing real-world assets on the XRP ledger and at the same time, making them more useful than they are in TradFi. You can use tokenized assets in the upcoming lending and borrowing feature, provide liquidity on the XRP DEX, do cross-currency payments in seconds. You're looking at 24/7, and all of this possible with full sovereignty by doing self-custody. Bringing assets on-chain makes them immediately more useful, efficient, and just better. That's why keeping the XRPL strong for settlement of those transactions is key. XRP just posted an $85,290 average transaction size, the highest of any top 10 crypto asset. This is bigger than Bitcoin, bigger than Ethereum, bigger than every major stablecoin on the list. And from Charlie-san, what really matters anyway, right? Well, first off, anyone who thinks Clarity Act is going to significantly pump XRP is setting themselves up for disappointment. And then he responded to this. What really matters anyway is how the commodity pricing will play out. The system will adapt quickly, but how much capital will flow in during this adaptation phase? There have already been widespread XRP rumors and gossip across fintechs and banks since August of last year. I heard about some excellent developments, particularly in September of 2025 and February 2026. In fact, back in February, we even heard that the Clarity Act would definitely pass in April, but things are moving much slower than what we were told. and what I had anticipated. Now, the whole situation on our end has turned into a story of whether the Clarity Act will pass or not. Frankly, this sluggish pace is exhausting and frustrating me. For those reading my posts for the first time, let me clarify. I'm a computer engineer and I've been working in the fintech and banking system sector for 16 years. Quite a long time. Now, looking at the price of XRP real quick, we're sitting at $1.08, about $1.08.50. On the day, we actually hit a high up here a little over $1.09 on a low just under $1.07. So it's still in that range between about 105 and 110. And not surprising, we're basically trying to hold ourselves together as the month of July finishes and we see how that continues to play out. Let's actually swap this over here to a 1 month time span. So technically we're looking like we would be on track to closing out green for the month, which would be nice, but the last 2 months were both red. And as you guys can see right here, we do have 3 months that just kind of move sideways from the month of March. April sort of regained most of that, and then a little bit of a pullback here, closing everything out once again, similar levels in May. And yeah, just if we saw a repeated pattern here, might move sideways a little bit. It has been quite dramatically dropping month over month for over a year now. And hopefully this is an opportunity where we start to see things swing the other way and start to move back up. I'm going to go ahead and move this back over here to a 1 day time frame and we'll zoom back in. And something to keep in mind is that it's almost bounced off of the median line of the Bollinger Band there at about $1.10. And we do have more support here at $1.05.50. So keep an eye on that as well. Okay, that's what I got for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you're new. Thank you guys. God bless. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.